let's go. Yeah, so just keep on going. Okay, so now I want to control the connection settings because some nodes can connect multiple other nodes and some nodes can connect to one node only. So first off, we're going to need a new data model. Let's call this a military building. And we're going to need a new icon. So I'm going to show you a quick and cool tool I'm using. Let's look for Canon. Yeah, I don't really care. This needs to be different, right? Let's do bullet. Yeah, that's good. Download this as a PNG. Get this into Unity. And put it over here. 30 bullets. Sure, it's single. Wait, what are these? Oh. I didn't know it can be multiple. Okay, so heavy bullets, and let's get this here. Let's call this military building. Connection distance. Let's make this one stay. And maybe increase the node to 6. Okay. So this is our military building. We of course are going to need a reference in our main script. Let's go to God and create. Let's do it like this. By the way, should load these from the resources folder, right? It's right here. So we can load all building models, but let's do it like this for now. So let's call this connection node. This is going to be our connection node. This is going to be our military building. Okay. And I haven't really updated it, right? Yeah. Like this. Oh, the other one. Okay. Okay. So this is our connection node, and we're placing connection nodes. Yeah, we can use the right mouse position to place the other one. For now, later on, we'll create a mockup UI. By the way, I've added a timer. You can now see how much time this prototype takes. So let's use this. Yeah. Input, mouse position, yeah. Create building. And the create building now needs a building model, right? Building model. And this model will go into here. Now when we create a building, we need to pass the model we want to create. So in this case, it's a connection node. So it's, yeah, connection node. And let's paste it here. And let's put here the military building. No, just the military building. Okay, looks good. Now I'm creating the other one with the right click. This, of course, needs to be encapsulated. I'm repeating myself, but I don't really care. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Create building within distance. Now let's see that this works. So we haven't set the reference. So I like loading for the resources folder. There's no missing connections and stuff like that. So, oh, it's too big. Too big. Let's see the pixels per unit here. 700 feet. Right. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Nice. So currently they're both the same, right? We don't see any changes between them because these attributes don't mean anything except the connection in distance. Let's see if they're actually different. So let's make this 200 and try this. It doesn't seem the connection distance works. So because it's using this connection distance, I think. Let's try it like this. Yeah. Okay, so it doesn't work. Let's see why that doesn't work. So let's decrease it further. Let's see again why this doesn't work. So for some reason, this needs to be somewhat connected. Yeah, so it gets this connection distance. And it's probably because I haven't checked the building model connection distance. Yeah, I'm using both connection nodes. So this is why we this is why we encapsulate, right? So let's encapsulate that. Put it in a method. Yeah, whatever. Not what I intended. So let's call this check. Let's call it this try place. And try place gets. So let's keep this here. Put it here. This try place and try place. Okay. Let's remove these. We're gonna need one implementation. Input mask position, So this is gonna need a building model. Building, let's call this model. And model goes into here, here, and here. So this is try place for connection node, and this is try place for military node. I was trying to be lazy, but came back to me, didn't it? Being lazy all the time isn't perfect. So now it should work. 2. This has a connection of 5. And the other one has a connection of 1, which is too small. So let's increase that again to about 20. Let's increase that to 5. Let's see that in action. So this is extremely large. And this can only place within 5 units, which is cool. Now, the real question is, does it use the connection distance of the place node or the node we're trying to connect to? We're not going to get into these mechanics just yet, but for now we see that the attribute works, it affects gameplay, which is great. So now you can see I have one connection. A node can have multiple connections, right? So I can have, let's make it clear. Let's say it like this. And this can now have, it uses the closest one. But you can say like this one can have multiple connections. And I want to control how many connections can you have to any node, right? And currently it just connects to the closest one. There's no actual logic there. So let's see what we can do. So let's go to our models. We're going to need to change the data. A building has a connection distance, which is true, and it's going to have connection count. Let's set that to 1, like for the default. And now connection instances is going to be an array, not an array. An array. No, we're going to use a hash set because we don't want multiple. We don't want the same connection in the same data structure. So what a hash set does, it only adds unique values. So we want unique values of connections because we don't want, for any reason, like if even the developer makes a mistake, which is me in that case. So we don't want two connection instances, more than one connection instance of the same reference inside the data structure. So a hash set lets it do this. It's like only keys dictionary for anyone not familiar with this. So it's a hash set of connections, and now I'm gonna say that val.connections is equals to a new hash set of connections, and the count is gonna be val.model connection count. Now, if this doesn't work, of course, we need to connections of 0. Right, it's not an array. So connections, add connection. Simplify. All right, so now we have our connection, and let's see what broke. I always like to see what's broken. Where's my Yeah, so now we're seeing problems here, which is great actually, because we want to encapsulate it in a method. We don't want anyone going to the connections, adding it themselves. There's no. Okay, so this is when we create a connection instance and we connect two buildings. So let's see if we don't duplicate it anything here. Okay, so in building A connections. I'm sorry about the noise. Gardeners walking in my garden. Connections. Yeah. Add valve. work. And this is the only way. So, yeah, this will work. But I'm not using the connection count yet anywhere. I'm not. Yeah. So I need to check if connection is available. Let's see. Yeah, so how do we create a connection? What's the best API for that? Take two buildings and tell them to connect to each other. So maybe in the create, let's call this connect. I think it's a better name here. Because we don't really care about creating connection instances. And first off, of course we need to check if A is already connected to D. And we need to check if A or B has reached their maximum connection limit. So let's create a quick computation of property here. Has reached connection limit. And that's going to check if connections dot count bigger or equals to model the connection count. And now if we go to our connection here, we can do something like this. If A connection has reached connection limit or B has reached connection limit, return false. Return null, right? Because they're already connected. Now here is trying to connect stuff he can't connect, right? Because it reached the connection limit. So we're gonna get a null reference exception if we're gonna run it like this. I'm gonna prove it to myself. Yeah, null reference exception. Exactly. So first off, I want the node to have a connection count of 6. And the military building should have a connection count of 1. That's good. Let's see. Let's search for that null reference exception. It would have to reach with 6 connections. Yeah. Okay. What's gonna work with the military building, right? Yeah, you can see that. We should have 1 connection though, so it's kind of weird that it doesn't connect with 1. Connection count 1. Yeah, why is that? Why is that? Let's see. Connection count 1. Connections that count. Yeah, because it's only if connection is not equal to null. That's why. Let's put this in braces. It's probably better. Yeah, okay. So now it should create 1 connection without throwing any errors. On compilation. They actually improved the compilation speed a lot in Unity 6. So kudos for that. No, still, we still get a just exception, I think, but for different reasons, though. Let's see why. So I want to go to the connection again. Let's throw a warning here. Debug log warning. By the way, production builds always use a custom logger. Cannot establish yeah, we probably need more information, like which instances we're talking about, but I just want to see if I encounter that warning. Okay. No. No. Okay. So we're not getting there. Maybe close this now. I don't think so, but let's see. Okay, so everything's good here, right? Oh god, I hate myself. Goddamn, I hate myself for that. Just a sec, guys. הצליחה שאני אבוא. הצליחה שאני אבוא. הצליחה שאני אבוא. Yeah, I'm gonna take a quick rundown. I'm gonna pause the timer and I'm gonna put some music for you. Where were we? Yeah, so this is like, fuck me. Yeah. Let's now it should work. isolate the problem again. Yeah, so again, it works, but we haven't yet reached point where we see if we can connect it or not. So we haven't changed our scripts here, right? Let's do that. Let's do that. Great building. So overlapping should stay the same. We don't need that. So this should filter out which building we can connect to. Yeah. So here, if building. We call this instance. So if the instance we're trying to connect to has reached its connection limit, we want to skip this iteration and not connect to this building. Now, we are going to have a weird bug, I believe, because if we're placing two military buildings which are connected to each other, then maybe we can connect a node, connection node, which it's not the intended behavior. We do want the connection node to connect. Oh, time. Let's do that. Let's first check it without the bug. Yeah, now we're not getting any errors, and we can't connect new nodes. So we gotten rid of the errors, which is great. But you can see now, once I have like this deadlock of connections, I can't place any more nodes. And what I want to do is, if I want to place now a connection node, I want to connect it to an existing node, even though it has a connection. So that's weird. That's weird. I have two connections. So basically, I know what this happens. It's because I can't delete nodes, right? It's a gameplay issue. I mean, it can happen in the game itself. So now I have all these connecting military buildings, and I can't delete them and create new nodes. So it's a problem of selection, deletion, and stuff like that. So it's okay. It's okay. I mean, we'll add those features in the future, and for now, it's okay. Okay, what do we move on to next? So connections. We have connections. Technically, I wish I would start with one node in the center and didn't have to check if I can place a node without connections. That probably would be a better place, a better situation to start with. So maybe in our scene, so let's go back to the God object. The God object, when the game starts, let's try and imitate the game for a second. So our first node in the game is how do you call that? The thing that gets the sun. Oh, DMB. Solar panel. Let's go back to our icons here. I think this is good. Great website. You should definitely check it out. Here, solar power, single. Put it on 100 pixels per unit. By the way, this is like, since all of our icons come from the same place, I can definitely create a preset. And if I had the time, I would create a tool that would apply this preset to everything within this folder. So yeah, texture importer.preset. No, let's call this icons on node presenters. this here. Yeah. Okay. And now, let's have another building. Building. Let's call this solar panel node. I need to start using like. No? Go away. Sit down. Need to check what the gardeners did. I'll be right back. Is there any way to pause the stream? I don't think so. I'll get for there. Just don't worry. I'm gonna get better at this, I guess, in time. And I know nobody's watching this, so being free. So what we want to do is we want to create the first building in position 0, 0, 0. So let's do try place, solar panel node. I think this checks if the buildings are at 0, 0, 0. Let's see if this works. Yeah. Again, that's why I like loading it, not placing it in the inspector. Okay, building clone. It's not 0, 0. This should be zeroed out. And place solar panel node. Oh, right. So this is why we differentiate input from other stuff, right? But again, prototype. So if buildings count is equal to 0, then create building at this 3.0 and remove that. That's not vector 3.0 though. That's 0, 0, minus 10. Need to change that, by the way. It's a weird behavior. So minus 10 because the camera is at 0, as far as I remember, and we create all elements at minus 10. Let's see if I'm correct on this one. Yeah, no, 0. It is 0. And now it should work perfectly. Don't believe we put the solar power here. That's it. Connection count is going to be 20. It's going to be very high. Yay! Vector 3, 0, 0. Let's see. Still with that offset. Why that offset? Still follows the mouse. Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Yeah. And that's it. A minor change. Yay! And we can create as many buildings as we want. So I want to try now. Yay! So we can see where this is going, right? I think in the game, by the way, you can create a node if the edge intersects with another node. So that's something we need to care about too. Let's do that. Let's do that. This solves a lot of problems, right? Putting this here before getting into deleting nodes and stuff like that. So besides checking if the closest node is not null and we're not overlapping with anything. We need to see where the edge is not overlapping. And edge, no, connection not overlapping. Connection overlapping and false. Okay. Overlapping works with camera. Yeah, so that's why it doesn't need any arguments. So connection overlapping, let's see. We're gonna make a raycast from the origin. A little bit more object oriented here. So let's take a building instance, call it origin. And now connection overlapping. Yeah, within this position. Pause one or origin. And okay, so we need these two, and so origin is doesn't really care. We don't really care if we're shooting the raycast 2 or 4. So let's put pause. And says if closest is null, is not gonna check these guys, right? So let's put closest position. And we know that closest is not null here, because if it was null, it would exit the if statement here. By the way, that's the difference between and single ampersand. And it's used for bitwise operations as well. Okay, so now let's create a raycast. Physics 2D raycast. Distance is going to be new building pose minus origin. Does he do it automatically? I can't remember. If he takes the magnitude of these two, I can't remember. I don't think so. Maybe it should. We're not going to layer mask for the moment, although in the future it is a lot more. Forgot the timer again. God damn it. We're going to decrease like 2 hours just by me forgetting stuff. I don't know if it does it automatically. It takes the delta between these two factors and sets it as the distance. Let's be more explicit here. So now I know what's going to happen, though. I'm going to find out that I'm raycasting one of the building themselves and not one of the buildings in the way. But let's just check this out, right? Let's turn false. And let's debug. let's return true so we can place So now I can't place anything. Why is that? It's true. Oh, it should return false. We're not getting any logs. So what we're gonna do now, debug, draw, array, form. For 2 seconds, and let's try this again. Not even, let's draw the line. Start, end, okay. And let's place this here. Can you see the debug line? I'm missing something here. Position of the mouse. I should see it. I should see it. Yeah. Yeah. Probably the debug line is getting missed because of the spikes. Let's oh god, I'm an idiot. That's why. Again. Yeah, so now we can see the debug line. Great. So we do shoot the raycast, but I think it's because it's a 2D shape. By the way, I think that ECS only works with 3D colliders, so we'll probably need to change all that, but we have prefabs, it's kind of easy. So here's what I think is the problem. Building does have a collider 2D, obviously, but it's a 2D collider. I think if the raycasts come from the side, it doesn't hit the collider, which is a problem. So we're gonna fix this. Let's see if we can. We can create a docscast, but linecast. First off, this is what we played on, right? Linecast. We can now remove this. Why can it accept a raycast H2D in an if statement? It's like fucking weird. Oh. Maybe they overrided the equals. Oh, come on. Yeah. Hmm. Um. mm, I want to see what's going on here. So, touch this. It does get one of the colliders. Cool. Okay. It just doesn't know what to do with this value type, right? Oh, we get the line cast. It works. So the line cast works. Ray hit. Nice. So we hit one of the buildings, right? And we can. By the way, we don't want to hit one of the buildings. Okay. So we want to ignore the buildings. We can do line cast all, which will get us all the buildings it hits, and then we can filter out the ones we don't want. We can put them on a different layer. We can shorten the line cast. So we can make the line cast a bit shorter, which is nice. So now, instead of new building position, I want to get the delta for a second. So var delta, it's new building position minus origin. Let's normalize this. So now I'm getting the vector, the delta vector, new building position minus origin. So now I want to track that from the new building position. That delta. Yeah, I think that's good. Now, since it's normalized, it's going to be 1 unit long. And the radius currently set for all nodes is 0.5. Now, in the future, we need that either as an attribute on the model and then set the sprite size accordingly, which sounds good. Or we need to read the sprite size in runtime and then we know the size of the node, which is, I think it's not very attractive because I don't want the view to have any stateful logic on it, right? I don't want to read the sprite size. I want the sprite size to be according to what the designer decides. I think, yeah. But right now, delta times 0.5 is good. And I think now we're not going to get any raycast, which is specifically now it's a good thing. Let's see that. No, ray hit. Ray hit. Let's see the draw line for a second. So now let's draw the line here. And let's do this again. Maybe it counts. As far as I remember, when you're doing raycasts, not line casts, the origin point, if you were originating from inside the collider, it will not count that collider in the raycast hit. So maybe that's our problem. Nope. So now we're not getting any hits. Oh, we are getting hits. We're sometimes getting hits. Sometimes it's actually far worse than all of the time. Like far worse. As you can see, the line cast works well. So let's just make it. Let's do it like this. Minus delta, and this is plus delta. And let's do this. Now, hopefully, we shouldn't see any raycast hits. Now, we sometimes get raycast hits. Maybe they fixed now. You can use conditional breakpoints, which I love, but it used to cause a lot of problems with Unity. But let's see if it still causes problems. Conditional, let's say that raycast hit to D dot rigid body is not equal to null. Let's attach this to Unity. So how does it decide if array was hit or not based on that? I think it's time we go to the Unity documentation page. Docs, physics, 2D, line cast. So it does. In this case, the line is starting inside the collider and doesn't intersect the collider. So why can't I use it here like that? It's oh god damn it. This is not true. And let's make it a bit bigger. Maybe that's our problem. Hey, it probably set exactly on the radius. So that's why it sometimes did happen and sometimes didn't happen. I do want to try something else now. So now let's see if we're getting a raycast. If we do something like this. Yay, ray hit. So now, if raycast hit 2D did happen, connection overlapping will return true. Now I don't have to add an else here, it's just for semantic reasons, and it's any way you prefer it to be. Now we shouldn't be able to build there, so let's try the same scenario. No, again. Place a military building here. Oh, and I can build here, but I can build here. Nice. We do have another problem though. Yeah, I'm just stacking the problems, right? I see this as I go with the code, like I foresee this. So since the get closest building and connection overlapping are not matched, what I mean is, let me just see if what I'm saying is true. I don't know. What did I think? I think that since these are not connected, and they are in two different Boolean expressions, and closest. No, it will have a closest. So if it does get a close, let's say it does get the closest node, but that closest node. Okay, so it does get the closest node, but maybe we can see that in action. Let me just try to create this scenario. So place this here. Let's place one here. And let's place one. I want to actually make it a bit longer. Here and here. And I want to place one here. So this is, no, wait a second. I'm gonna show it. So it's here. No, again. Here, here, here. Yeah. So now we can see what's happening. I'm trying, oh, god damn it. Here, here, and here. So now I'm trying to place this one here, but I can't, and it doesn't understand that it can use this one, which is not the closest one, right? Because they are not connected. Now, the moment this is closer to this point, he will choose this one. That's why I say it's a small bug, but it is a bug nonetheless, right? So we have to combine these two functions to work together. We have to the connection overlapping and the overlapping need to be the same. So let's do that. The closest, sorry. The closest end connection overlapping. So this is where we check it against the other instances, and we need, let's just grab this and let's add it here. So we don't have the origin and the new building position. We're gonna have to change the naming conventions. What we do have, instance.position. So we have to, okay, so we have instance.position. So let's even do it like this. Var origin is equal to pos, var new building pos is equal to instance.position, which is the other way around, right? It's origin is equals to instance.position, and this is equals to pos. Now, delta, normalize, blah, blah, blah. We made this happen. So instead of returning true and false, if we hit something, we don't want to consider it as the closest building. So we will not return, we will just continue to the next iteration. And now, hopefully, let's comment this out. We'll probably remove it in a second. Let's remove this. Let's create the same scenario, right? Put this one here, this one here, and no, we're not. It's not good enough. Not good enough. Not good enough. Yes, it works. It works. It works. I want to check another thing. Just to see we haven't messed up anything. Yeah, so this is bad. We do place it inside a connection. This is bad. That's what I thought would happen. Let's see where it happens though. So I believe we can get rid of this now. And let's go back here and see why this happens. So we're only testing the raycast between these two. We're checking if there's a node between these. With the live cast. So how are we going to check if it's in the middle of a connection? Let's create this scenario again, just so we can see it visually. Okay. So now it doesn't recognize any node. Interesting. So maybe a better way to do it instead of line casting would be to go over all of the edges in the game, the connections, and maybe see if the current position at the point we're trying to place the node is occupied by an edge, and just say, no, it's not possible. We can do another thing, by the way. Oh, it's a lot easier, even when I think about it. No, we have to do it in addition to what we're doing right now. So we can put the edges on a layer called edges, and we can circle cast down to see if we're hitting any edges when we're trying to place our node. And that should work just perfectly. So let's see if we could even put colliders on line renderers. I don't remember. Let's do a quick test. Let's create 2D object. No, it's effects line. Let's put this at y0, y1. Okay, and let's create a collider. It's definitely not box though, right? Can't be box collider, right? Not the box collider. It's gotta be one of the special ones, if anything. Composite collider. No. Could be this one. Now, it's definitely not the best way to do it. I would definitely want a data-oriented way to do it. Like I said, going over maybe the edges in the proximity of where I'm trying to place the node and just check if that line intersects that position. But I want a quick hack for the prototype, so maybe let's just check if we can do it. Can you... Yeah, so this is it has to be done programmatically, like I thought. Okay, nice. Let's try this. It's weird. It doesn't come with the engine, but I don't know. Maybe it's an edge case. I don't know. Let's go to our connection view. We can do it here. So maybe in the initialization. Okay. Let's see if this works. We do have to set a couple of things in the editor. We have prefab, so wonderful. And let's see. Yeah, let's let's remove this guy. Okay, let's go to our scene. Pick our connections. Oh, it does work. Fantastic. Fantastic. Let's go to our connections. Let's give it a new layer. Let's use that layer. Get it start from the end. Like these not arbitrary layers from the end. Like if it's a structural layer like UI and stuff like that, I'll start from the beginning and otherwise start from the end. I don't know. It works for me. Then we want to set this as a connection. I do have to change the name for an edge. Like this is a graph, right? It's a graph. Why consider it anything else? So now this is an edge, and we're going to check in here, and we do need to change the name. Let's call it not closest. Get closer. It does a lot of stuff. Like this is this is too big, right? This does a lot of stuff. I would definitely extract some methods here. Okay, let's keep it for now. But now we want to check if we want to do a new raycast, pull the camera down, and want to check if we're hitting anything. Okay. We can do it also here, you know? We have the ray. It already checks that, which is cool. We don't have to do anything. It will work. Once we have the colliders, it works. So now, if we create the same scenario, here, 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 it doesn't work. God damn it. Should work though. Maybe the mesh collider is a physics 3D. Yeah, it's 3D. It's 3D. Let's try something else. Let's try something else. Collider 2D. Let's see if it has a counterpart in the 2D space. I don't think so. Otherwise, we're going to have to make two raycasts, which is we can, but we can definitely create a script that does this, right? It's like super easy, but I don't wanna. I don't wanna. I wanna be lazy. This is prototype. this would be the width of the line, right? So this is so this, and then this would be 5, but this is 1, 0, and 1, right? Yeah, but again, I want to be lazy. So I tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna keep the mesh collider. This is horrible in production code, yeah, but in production code. Not capture, sphere cast. Let's do ray origin 0.5 ray direction. Ray direction and what the hell am I doing? This is return true. It overlaps, and this is another if statement. And now we should hit that line. I want to create a simpler scenario for checking this. I think we can. Yeah, so this is a simpler scenario, right? So let's do that. And now we can't do that. Problem fixed. This is allowed, by the way. Edges crossing each other is no problem. Which, if it checks versus all of them. If the collider was 2D, I guess it would be a problem because it would raycast and it would find it, and it actually worked in our benefit. So guys, that's all I have for you today. I'll probably continue working on this offline, but we're making good progress. It already looks nice when we can play with it. We need to set the sizes and actually create the gameplay, right? The buildings should do stuff, the economy, it should cost stuff, cost some resources. We need to mine. There's a lot to do here, right? But we've made a lot in 4 hours, so and part of those 4 hours was me explaining. So I think we're good. See you next time.